Episode title: The Vanishing of Elise Harrow. A small town's silent secret continues. This is the part where the man who saw something and said nothing until it was far too late. When Elise Harrow's remains were discovered in 2012 behind the abandoned Westfield Baptist Chapel, it felt like a final chapter. But in 2013, a year later, Westfield police received a quiet tip. A man named Leonard Klein, now 63 years old, had once worked as the part-time groundskeeper for the church. He never made headlines, never gave an interview. He had moved out of town in 2005, 2 years after Elise vanished. When questioned during the original investigation, he told police he hadn't seen anything. But now, he had something else to say. Leonard described a night in October 14, 2003, was the night Elise disappeared. He had returned to the chapel late to retrieve a forgotten toolbox. As he parked behind the building, he noticed something strange. A silver sedan near the field, headlights off, door ajar, and a man, tall, wearing a heavy coat walking along the side of the building toward the old well. Leonard never approached. He told himself it was none of his business. The next morning, he found a red scarf caught on the chapel's side gate, but assumed it belonged to one of the local teens who sometimes snuck onto the property. He didn't connect it to Elise. Not until years later, when asked why he never came forward, Leonard hesitated. "I didn't want trouble," he finally said. "I didn't know who that man was, but I saw him watching me when I pulled in, and I got a bad feeling." He admitted he felt guilty for years, but after Elise's remains were found, that guilt hardened into something worse: fear. Fear that the man he saw that night might still be watching. Police reopened the investigation briefly in light of Leonard's testimony. They sketched a profile mid-40s, tall, left-handed, possibly familiar with the church grounds. A few names surfaced, including Dr. Hayden Morrow, Elise's former professor, who was once rumored to have had an inappropriate interest in her. But without physical evidence or witnesses placing anyone specific at the chapel that night, the case stalled again. Leonard's account was haunting, but it was 10 years too late. In a rare interview years later, Leonard said, "I still see her sometimes, in dreams, just standing by the well. Not angry, just waiting." The chapel has long been demolished, the well sealed for good. But in Westfield, the guilt lingers. A man saw something. He stayed silent. And Elise Harrow's story remains unfinished. In small towns, secrets echo through silence. And sometimes, the people who could have saved a life choose to look away. This was episode 2 for the case of murder of Elise Harrow. Subscribe for more real stories, because some mysteries never stop whispering.